The World Cup qualifiers are absolutely insane as Nigeria lost against DR Congo in penalties and now will miss their second World Cup in a row. While on the other hand, Ireland have a late comeback against Hungary and now have the chance to make it to their first World Cup in over 20 years. Honestly, the World Cup qualifying matches yesterday were absolutely insane and I have to talk about it. Mainly, I'm going to be talking about the Nigeria against DR Congo game for the playoffs, and I'm also going to talk about the Hungary versus Ireland game, which saw Ireland get a very late comeback to book their spot to the World Cup playoffs. Now, obviously these games did happen yesterday, but Italy also lost yesterday. They lost 4-1 against Norway. And you know, I'm an Italy fan, so Italy's always gonna come first. But after taking the day to look through all the other games, I finally decided that I need to upload this video because some of the games yesterday were absolutely insane. We also saw some other crazy results across UEFA where we saw Portugal beat Armenia 9-1. That was a crazy game. And once again, it begs the question, is Portugal better with or without Ronaldo? Now, me personally, I don't like this. I think that this shouldn't be about if Portugal is better with or without Ronaldo. Enjoy Ronaldo as it's his last World Cup. Yes, maybe when he's not on the pitch, they have a good game, but that doesn't really have much to do with him. Now, also today, we saw another crazy result as Germany just beat Slovakia 6-0, and this was the decider because they were both tied on points in the group. Obviously, as we know, Germany have been a little bit inconsistent in recent matches, but in this match, they were absolutely phenomenal as they scored 6 goals against Slovakia to put them in first place as they are now heading to the World Cup. Now, the two things I want to focus on in this video is the Nigeria against DR Congo final match and also Ireland's road to glory, as they started off this campaign horribly, but in recent matches, they have completely turned around. But let's start with this Nigeria against DR Congo game. So obviously, in full time, this game ended 1-1, right? We saw a very early goal from Nigeria. They scored in the 3rd minute, very early on. It was a deflection off Twanzebe, went right in the back of the net. And sadly, DR Congo were down after 3 minutes, but only 30 minutes later, Elias scored a fantastic goal and they were back in it. Now, for the rest of the game, it was pretty 50-50, but in my opinion, I think DR Congo were the better team in this game. Obviously, we saw their disallowed goals, which will definitely cause some controversy, but for the whole game, I thought DR Congo were the better team. And when you look at Nigeria as a squad, their squad is incredible, right? In terms of African nations, they have definitely the top 3 squads in Africa. If you look at their attack with Osimhen, with Lookman, with Chukwueze, in the midfield, they have players like Iwobi, they have Onyeka, they have still Ndidi, who's still balling out. In the defense, with players like Bassi, Frederick, who's been incredible. They have such a good team. Probably 8 out of their starting 11 players play in top leagues. So Nigeria, they're a proper team. They have amazing players. But if you look at them throughout this World Cup qualifying campaign, they have not been good enough. And I think this result was waiting for them because they had so many chances to finish first in their group. They had so many chances to win games, which they ended up losing or drawing, but they should have won. And now I think this result is deserved for Nigeria. I wanted to see Nigeria succeed, but they just weren't good enough in previous matches and in this match as well. First of all, Nigeria didn't even win half of their games in their group, which is already disappointing. We saw them get poor results against Benin, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, obviously against South Africa, and the only team that they won both home and away against was Rwanda. That was the only team that Nigeria could beat. That is not good enough for a team like Nigeria. Now, I will say that since Eric Schell has took over, they look much better. They look like a much better team. But some of these players need to perform better. You look at Nigeria's squad. I already mentioned all the incredible players that they have, right? Now, Ndidi, he's getting a little bit old. His time may be coming. But some of the other players, especially Ademola Lookman, this guy, where is he? Where is he in the national team? He's not there. He is such a good player at the club level. But for the national team, he's been missing for so long. Nigeria need to see performances out of players like Ademola Lookman. And even Osimhen, yes, he's an incredible player. He scored many goals for Nigeria over the course of this World Cup qualifying campaign. But some games, he just doesn't look like himself. Against DR Congo, he did not look like himself. He needed to score in this game. And I have to give credit to DR Congo because they were put in a tough group. Senegal obviously finished first place in the group, and they were so close to finishing first place, but they just missed out in the last few match days. So they were in a very tough group. They were in a very tough spot. And DR Congo, obviously we know in terms of World Cup qualification, they've never been that good. But they've always produced amazing young talent. You look at their midfield, you look at their attack. They have players playing in top leagues. They are a great, great team. And I think this is 100% deserved for DR Congo. Now, honestly, I feel kind of bad for Nigeria because if you look at their World Cup qualifying campaign and you look at the Nigerian Football Federation, like, it's crazy how they treat the players. It's crazy how this federation does not want the team to succeed. You look at the protests, you look at the players that are playing, they're not even getting paid. Did you see some of the pitches that they were playing on? They were playing on dirt, straight dirt. I was playing on better football pitches when I was 5 years old in elementary school, and my school was broke. But at least it had some grass. Some of the environments that these Nigerian players are having to play in and what they're having to go through should not be happening. And I think a lot of that comes down to the NFF. And I think they failed them in this World Cup qualifying campaign. And if they would have done a better job, I do think Nigeria probably would have gotten into the World Cup. But it's sad to see them not succeed once again. We missed them in the last World Cup, and now we're going to be missing them again. In my opinion, I think DR Congo can make it to the World Cup. I was saying that whoever advances in the African nations, whether it was Nigeria, DR Congo, Gabon, Cameroon, I thought whoever advances to the playoffs will 100% go in because I think all these African nations are better than majority of the other nations in the intercontinental playoffs. Now, another game I need to talk about is Hungary against Ireland. Ireland have made it to the World Cup playoffs. They are 2 games away from making it to their first World Cup in over 20 years, and it is due to one man, Troy Parrott. 5 goals in 2 games against both Portugal and Hungary. He is single-handedly carrying this Ireland team to the World Cup, and it's absolutely crazy. For every Ireland fan, this was insane. This was one of the craziest things that I've seen in recent history for Ireland. The fact that after the first 3 matches in the World Cup qualifying, you were last place in your group behind Armenia. You lose to Armenia. Now, no disrespect to Armenia, but they're not a very good footballing nation. And for Ireland to lose to them, to be last place in their group, it was horrible. It was very disappointing. And then even in the second match against Armenia, they won 1-0. It was a very close game, and Armenia were down to 10 men. And Ireland barely won. Those first 4 matches for Ireland were so poor. They were bottom of the group. No one thought that they could make it out. But then they got that surprising win against Portugal. Ronaldo got the red card, Troy Parrott got the double, and they end up beating Portugal, which was a very, very impressive result. A few lapses of judgment from the Portuguese defenders, but you can't take away from Ireland's performance because they 100% deserve to win that game. And now coming into this game against Hungary, Hungary didn't need much. They didn't need much. They needed a draw and they would have advanced. They just couldn't lose this game. And what happened? Hungary at home in Budapest lost 3-2 against Ireland as Troy Parrott got a hat-trick and scored the last goal in the last touch of the game, 96th minute, to send Ireland into their first possible World Cup in over 20 years. Honestly, we need to start looking at this Troy Parrott guy seriously because he's 23 years old, born in 2002, currently playing with AZ Alkmaar. In his first 6 starts this season in the Eredivisie, he's already gotten 6 goals, and we just saw him get 5 goals in the last 2 games in the international break. He is insane. Ireland need to be thanking this guy with everything they have because his performances in the last 2 games were crazy. That was one of the craziest comeback stories I've ever seen in football. To be last place in your group after 3 matches, after half the matches already played, you're last place, down and out. It looks like all hope is lost. Then you get that win against Armenia. You get a surprise win against Portugal, and then a surprise win in the last minute against Hungary at home. And let's not forget, Hungary have been a good team, especially in recent years. Hungary are really leveling up. They're a very strong team. They're definitely a competitive team, and I thought that Hungary was definitely going to be playing in the World Cup playoffs. But Ireland pulled off the insane upset, beating them 3-2, and now Ireland are 2 games away from making it into the World Cup. Honestly, these were 2 of the craziest stories within the last few days. Nigeria end up losing against DR Congo, missing their 2nd World Cup in a row, and Ireland come back from the dead, beat Portugal, beat Hungary, and now have a chance to make it to their first World Cup in over 20 years. That is the end of this video. This World Cup qualifying is almost over, and I will definitely be keeping you guys up to date within the next few days. But obviously, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. And as always, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.